All right, Chad, let's talk a little FSU recruiting buzz because Florida State opened the 2025 season with a huge win, 31-17 over number 8 Alabama. Recruits were there, sold out. Doak Campbell Stadium was rocking, and now that the dust is settled, you've had time to talk to a couple of these guys. Let's start with a priority target that was on campus at a position in need for the Seminoles, linebacker DQ Forkbuda. Now, he was essentially going to commit to the Florida Gators in July, a day before. Actually, I think it was the morning of. He was supposed to commit right here on this channel, and he will whenever he's ready. But DQ Forkbuda said, whoa, I am not ready. I'm going to push this thing, I don't know, maybe to signing day. So what is the latest after his most recent trip to Florida State?
Yeah, I'll start with that, the timeline. So he does not want to take it to signing day unless he has to. He wants to get it done. I mean, like you said, he was on the verge and I think pretty much committed to Florida for almost a couple of months. And then obviously we thought Michigan was the reason he was holding up. And here we are now. He's at Florida State for their season opener, took an OV to Florida State. Like you said, linebackers a position of need. They made big news earlier this summer with the flip of Isaiah Williams, getting him back in the fold from Ole Miss. And those guys hung out all day on Saturday together. And I think FSU couldn't have wanted it any other way. FSU took care of business over Alabama. They had Forkbuda on campus. He wasn't at Ann Arbor. He wasn't at Michigan. He wasn't in the swamp at Florida. He was in Tallahassee. He was with five-star linebacker commit Isaiah Williams. So a lot of things went their way in Forkbuda's recruitment over the weekend. He came out really praising Florida State, the staff, the preparation, the chip on the shoulder, how they played the game, for 4 quarters, a new look of the defense. So, look, FSU is very much in this, and he's really always said that he likes FSU a lot. They gave him a lot to think about. He now is going to take an OV to Missouri later on this month in September. I don't think they're too much in play right now. We'll see what happens if he does make that trip to Columbia here in a few weeks. But look, FSU has to be put in that top group with Florida and Michigan. I would probably put them ahead of Michigan right now after this visit. So he is one to watch, and he's a major target for Florida State.
Is FSU and UF still battling to get him back on campus this fall? Does he have any intentions of doing so?
Yeah, he has nothing else set right now today as we talk, Josh, outside of that Columbia trip to Missouri on, I think, September 20th, I believe it is, for the OV. But they're kind of a latecomer to this race. And look, he told me straight up after we talked late Saturday night after that Florida State win over Alabama that he wants to end this process as soon as he can, as soon as he feels he's 100% ready. He did say he did not want to be an Isaiah Williams or a guy that flips schools. He wants to make sure he's ready, and as soon as he is, he makes that decision.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to the 2027 class, where wide receiver Lawrence Britt is emerging as a major priority for the Seminoles. They got him on campus on Saturday. What was he talking about after this one?
Yeah, big-time player from Memphis, Tennessee, Los Angeles College program there in Tennessee. He's been to Tallahassee now 4 times. Wow. Loves Coach Harris, the receivers coach. Obviously loved what the offense did under Gus Malzahn in this game, and he loved the atmosphere. Look, I think he's pretty – kind of there for the taking right now. Still early, being a 2027 recruit, but him going to Florida State, 4 times already, early in the process. He likes the scheme. He loves new receivers coach Tim Harris coming up with Gus Malzahn from UCF. They have a great connection. He liked the performance of the team. He raved about the atmosphere, the crowd, the chants. I think obviously that win said a lot and goes about where Norvell, how quickly he can turn things around. He made the necessary hires and changes on the staff. All looked to be the right kind of hire in game 1 against Alabama. And Britt's very high on the ACC program in Tallahassee right now, early in his recruitment.
Yeah, it's been over a decade since FSU landed the #1 player in the state of Tennessee. That was Jalen Ramsey, 2013. It's been that long, Chad.
Not a bad one. I was there for that commitment ceremony as well. And that one goes back to Jeremy Pruitt flipping him from USC. So
100%.
That was a big one for Florida State. Yeah.
Jeremy Pruitt brought him there. All right. Now, let's stick with the 2027 theme. Edge, defensive lineman. We'll see what he ends up being. Cam Pritchette out of the state of Alabama. he's already made an early commitment to Oregon, but he was in Tallahassee, and you spoke to him after this one, Chad.
Yeah, I mean, Tallahassee, man, much closer to where he's at in the middle of Alabama than Eugene, Oregon. Like, look, he's been to Oregon a couple of times. He loved it up there, committed early in the summer. He committed to Oregon before he even started his junior year of high school. So there's a long way to go in this recruitment. And Florida State is working Alabama to other schools as well. But Florida State is doing a great job of keeping that communication, making him feel like a priority, and getting him down for a visit. He'll be at other schools like, Tennessee, some different programs in the coming weeks. But FSU got him on campus first. They've given him a lot to think about. Look, he says all the right things about being committed to Oregon. He likes the staff, Dan Lanning, Tosh LaPoy, all those guys in Eugene. But look, FSU winning that game over a school that he's very familiar with, Alabama, an in-state program from being out of Thompson High School in Alabaster, Alabama. He's been there multiple times. He likes how they've produced defensive ends, edge rush guys in recent years to the NFL draft. So a lot of things are playing in favor for Florida State. He'll likely be back for another game at Florida State this season. So look, FSU is a real contender in this race right now. Oregon's the team to beat, but this recruitment is far from done.
Chad, you can feel the shift in momentum here with Florida State, and I know it's only one game, but all summer when we talked either with the experts, even with recruits, there was a very strong vibe around the Florida State program of wait and see. Mike Norvell entering year 6, coming off this 2-win season. Yeah, they went undefeated the year before in the regular season, but there was a lot of unknowns heading into this one, and it feels like, and like I said, it's very early, but the win over Alabama has certainly shifted the feel. What are you hearing from recruits?
Just that, that they loved. I mean, I've got many more updates coming throughout the week from guys I've talked to. And 2027, even going back to another guy they're trying to flip at linebacker, Chris Carbon. He's from Atlanta, was down at Florida State for the Bama game, committed to Georgia Tech early in the process. I mean, he says all the right things about Tech there, but he's going to go back to Florida State for another game, likely Florida State in October. But yeah, I mean, the buzz is strong. It's like almost to me like covering recruiting, going from the high of highs 2 years ago, going undefeated ACC champions to 2-10 last year, to him making the coaching changes, making some changes at Florida State with the staff. To me, it's almost like last year didn't even really happen. Recruits they knew it was a down year, but it happened. We know it happened so fast. They were 2-10. Changes were made. New OC, new DC, new plans in place, new schemes on both sides of the ball. Go in the portal, get the quarterback from Boston College, come in with a new attitude, new confidence, saying we can win again. We can win now. To go out there and to win that game for 4 quarters against Alabama. Bama hadn't lost their first game of the season in something like 50 or 60 games, I think it is, something like that, or whatever it was, but a long time.
The early 2000s.
I think Nick Saban's first game or something like that, but whatever it was. But look, huge win, and the buzz reflects that, not just about the team, but about the coaching staff, the atmosphere. I heard so many kids say that chip on their shoulder and how they played that game with anger, with confidence, with swag. They didn't feel like they were the underdog against Alabama. They played that way, and that's really connected with these recruits that were at that game on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. So Florida State fans, chime in. How are you feeling? Did you watch the Seminoles win from home, or were you one of the fans that were dancing on the field afterward? Let us know. Comment section below.